It's not every day that we get a tax break from the tax man. What am I talking about? Tax-free savings accounts. Well, you might already have one or consider opening one, but do you really know why you have it? I mean, you can have the best weapon in the entire war, but if you forget to load it, it's pretty much pointless. What am I blabbing on about? Well, what I'm saying is that a tax-free savings account might sound fabulous, it might sound unique, and it might sound too good to be true in some cases. But truthfully, it could be one of the shiniest diamonds in the investment world, or well, just one of those investment gimmicks. It all depends on how you utilize it. Okay, so before we start investing, let's talk about some rules regarding the tax-free savings account. This is very important that you understand the rules, because if you understand the rules, you can understand the intention of why you are investing and potentially the strategy that can be surrounded with a tax-free savings account. Indicated on the left hand side in blue is your tax-free savings account, and on the right hand side in yellow is your unit trust. Now, a unit trust in terms of contributions is completely flexible. You can up your contribution, down your contribution. You can contribute monthly or in lump sums. It really does not matter. It's completely flexible. On your left hand side with a tax-free savings account, it's a bit more complicated. You're allowed a maximum of 3,000 Rand per month, which automatically equates to 36,000 Rand per year. But more important to understand, you're only allowed to contribute 500,000 Rand in your lifetime. Guys, the keyword here is contribute. It's not what your investment grows by, it's what you're allowed to put into the investment. In terms of withdrawal, the unit trust is very similar to its contribution. It's completely flexible. You can choose to have monthly withdrawals or withdraw lump sums. It does not matter. Once again, completely flexible. The tax-free savings, on the other hand, which is important to understand about the 500,000. If you contributed a certain amount and you decide to withdraw that amount, you can never re-contribute that. It still counts towards your 500,000 Rand limit. Let's jump straight into a scenario. Friends Tom and Jerry both decided to contribute 36,000 Rand every single year, and they did that for 14 years long. We are going to test the strategies on 10 years, 15 years and 30 years. Why are we doing this? We are trying to see which product makes sense for a short, medium and long-term investor. Tom decided to invest his 36,000 Rand every single year into the tax-free savings indicated in the blue, and in the yellow, Jerry decided to contribute his 36,000 Rand into a unit trust. Just a disclaimer from my side, due to the complexity surrounding tax and investments and the many variables there are, I made some assumptions beforehand just to make this more appealing to the eye and for us to understand how both investment vehicles operate. So after 10 years, our shortest time horizon, we can clearly see there's a very slight difference between the blue and the yellow line. There's only a 16,000 Rand difference, which is 3% of the capital. So for a short-term investor, that says to me, you should have been invested in a unit trust given its flexibility. When we fast forward 5 years, suddenly it's a different story. Now there's more than 100,000 Rand difference, which is 10%. Why is there a difference between the unit trust and the tax-free savings? Well, you pay tax on the interest that you earned in the unit trust. For our long-term investor, it's clear to see who's the winner here. There's nearly a 1.2 million Rand capital difference, which is a 35% difference between a tax-free savings and a unit trust. Why? It's because as the fund balance grows over a long time, you're going to be paying more and more and more tax on a unit trust. What's the conclusion? Both Tom and Jerry contributed 504,000 Rand into their respective investment vehicles. The tax Tom paid was zero due to the fact that he was invested in a tax-free savings. The tax Jerry, on the other hand, paid was 598,000 Rand, which is more than his contributions. Lastly, the end balance, the physical hard-working cash, there's a 1.2 million Rand difference, which is a lot of money, but more important to understand that Tom sits with 3.4 million Rand. Whatever he decides to do with that money remains tax-free. Okay, so what are some of the key takeaways that we can extract from those examples? Well, first of all, and as I will always say, nothing beats long-term investing. It speaks for itself. But what I want you to take away from this podcast is that you could be investing money in any investment vehicle. My question is, what's the purpose behind it? Is that investment vehicle a complement to what you are trying to achieve? Clearly, if you were a long-term investor, the unit trust would have been detrimental in this scenario. But also, if you were looking to save for 5 to 10 years, the unit trust would have been the best possible route to go. Why? It's flexible. You can stop the premium, start the premium, withdraw, put back, and it has no limitations. Whereas to with the tax-free savings, we know we get how much? 500,000 Rand in our life. So back to my opening remarks. Tax-free savings could be the best investment weapon you can possibly own if you use it for the right reason. But guys, that's all good and well. Tom accumulated this fund balance. That was only step one. That's not the true power of a tax-free savings, because now we were only in the accumulation step. Step two is how that money now, that big pot of tax-free money, how that can now make a difference in your daily life once you reach a retirement age. Now, this next video, I'm only going to launch for exclusive members. So what you need to do is one of three things. Leave me your email address for you to become a mailing list member. Either you need to WhatsApp me or subscribe to the channel. That's the only people that will be able to see the next video. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how Tom can take that same pot of tax-free money that he's accumulated now and lessen his retirement tax by up to 50%. We all know retirement is the biggest crisis the world has faced with investments. Nobody has really been able to solve this big problem, but everybody is trying to look at it from an investment point of view, trying to outperform the market the entire time in order for you to have a sustainable retirement. Guys, we're living in interesting and tough times, as you all know. That's no longer good enough. We need to think clever about finances, and we need to think clever about tax structures and where we hold our investment. Moral of the story, subscribe, get onto the mailer list, click on the WhatsApp button to get onto the WhatsApp list, because that is really truly the only people that will be able to see the next video and take advantage of how you can really make use of a tax-free savings.